Welcoming new members, Bonnie Hartung and do you go by Christina or Christy?
Either one's fine. Christie's what most people call me, but
Okay.
it doesn't really matter.
Okay. Christy Mack, thank you both for joining as associate members, joining Tom in that role. Next up on the agenda, approving the minutes of the April 24th, 2026 meeting, our last meeting. I sent those out. They're pretty, vague's not the right word. But, general, short, and to the point.
Yes.
If no changes, I'll accept a motion to accept those.
So moved.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Linda. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Any opposed? That carries unanimously. Thank you. New business, bands. So, the list of bands was sent to the town. Contracts have gone out. I think all of those have come back, but we know they're all participating. Tom DeServo is handling the contracts, and he's copying me on those communications with the bands. Next up is parade theme. So I posted on our Facebook page asking the community for ideas. A lot of, as you can imagine, happens on Facebook, just general comments and not really helpful suggestions. But I would say the general consensus was some acknowledgement of the 250th anniversary, which I think is kind of the direction the committee was already leaning anyway, so not really a surprise there. Probably the only suggestion for an actual theme that I saw on there that I thought was good, Sand and Sea, 250 years free.
Yeah, that was good.
And Ty was not able to call in or join us tonight. He sent me a few suggestions ahead of time. Seashells, Sun, and 250 Years of Freedom. Salt, Air, and Freedom. Orleans celebrates America's 250th. And Christy, I think he partly stole this one from you, but from Sea to Shining Sea, Orleans celebrates America's 250th.
Yeah, I like that.
So I don't know if anyone had any time to brainstorm other ideas or has any thoughts on these. Generally, for those that are new to the committee, we like to narrow it down to 3 theme ideas, present those to Orleans Elementary School for a vote, and then they select the most popular one, and then they randomly select one student to be the winner, and they get to ride in the parade if they want to.
Great.
So I'll open it up to the rest of the committee for ideas or thoughts.
I had one
Yeah.
simple thought.
Yeah.
Cheers to 250 years. Really simple and fast.
Yep.
I also like the idea of the first 4th of July. Even though that really would be next year, but I thought I would throw it out there.
Yep. Any others?
When I was waiting for my car at the wherever today, I was starting to write some down on my phone. I wrote 250 reasons to love Orleans. America 250, Orleans is nifty.
That's cute.
I feel like that Sea to Shining Sea one's good. But how does that end from Sea to Shining Sea? Orleans is for me or something.
From Sea to Shining Sea,
Oh.
Orleans celebrates America's 250th.
Okay.
Could be catchy.
Yeah, that might be a good one for next year when we don't have to work 250 in. Because I do like the idea of trying to work 250 in.
Yeah.
since most of the comments on Facebook were like, 250, duh.
Yeah, right, like, yeah, you're right. There was a lot of that. Why is this even a conversation?
I feel like
Yeah.
the 250 would just be red, white, and blue. So I feel like you need like either seas or sand or something, shells to have some sort of other decor, unless we just
Yeah.
want to do red, white, and blue, because it's the 250, you know what I mean?
I was
I
trying to come up
Wasn't
with,
it like 2 years ago though that we did red, white, and you?
We did.
Wasn't that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so apologies, that, and I don't have, somewhere Jen kept a document. I don't have it up, but I can try to find it as we're talking here, with the past themes.
Oh, yeah, and you had ideas, right?
well, I was trying to make the semi-quincentennial work, but it doesn't really flow. It's a tough one, you know, and that's what it is. But my daughter was like, in my semi-quincentennial era, you know, like the Taylor Swift
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of
Like Taylor Swift.
thing.
I love that.
And then I had some non-250, like red, white barbecue. But I liked the first one, the Sand and Sea 250 years free.
Yeah.
Sounded like Cape Cod.
Yeah,
I like that one too.
Rolls off better than semi-quincentennials.
Yeah, and it is relatively short too.
Yeah.
So 2023 was red, white, blue, and you.
Oh, yeah.
22 was America's Superheroes. 24 was May the 4th Be With You.
That was the best.
That's cute.
Orleans Rocks, don't forget that one.
Yeah. What was that, 21?
Yeah.
And then, last year was the Jaws 50th, You're Gonna Need a Bigger Float.
That was cute.
Oh, I like that.
That's the best.
So, back to what we have so far, and please jump in if there's any other thoughts or ideas, but around the, concept of providing three, so we've discussed in the past that we think it's important to continue the tradition involving the students and letting them, be a part of the community that decides instead of just us. We need to come up with at least two,
Yeah.
if not three. It doesn't have to be three if we're trying to steer them in
Yeah.
a direction. We could give them two,
Yeah.
but we want them to all be things that we're comfortable with, I guess.
Right.
So Sand and Sea, 250 years free. Sounds like that's one of them.
Okay, Sand and Sea, 250 years free. And then there's another one, From Sea to Shining Sea, is that one?
Yes.
Or did I
From
meld
Sea to
two
Shining
together?
Sea, Orleans
Orleans
celebrates
celebrates-
America's 250th.
What was the seashell one, that tie?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Seashells, Sun, and 250 years of freedom.
Could we say fun?
I know, I was gonna say, it seems like fun would be a good word to put in there.
Instead of
Well,
freedom.
it rhymes.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Seashells, Sun. Yep. Okay.
Side
But,
tie.
we
I
are
like that.
celebrating our freedom, so. I like the idea that it can come with a visual, so.
Yeah.
You can kind of know how to decorate their float, and it can be a
Yep.
theme instead of, like Allison said, just red, white, and blue theme.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I know. That is sort of the theme of 4th of July, is
Right.
kind of red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
like
Yeah.
all of this is a little bit just
It's implied.
providing some nuance to
Mhm.
that, but.
With seashells and sun, I think people
Yeah.
go with the beach theme. And then I like Cheers to 250 years, but I can see a lot of wine glasses,
Mhm.
and is that where we want to go? I don't know. Like,
No, I like that.
cheersing, high
Cheers.
fives.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we have four.
Um,
Cheers, cheerleading.
Yeah, there's a lot of directions you could go with that. So, cheers to 250 years, 250 years, Sand and Sea, 250 years free, Seashells, sun, and 200. It's not as bad as semi-quincentennial, but in terms of a tongue twister. I didn't mean to dismiss the idea. Seashells, sun, and 250 years of fun.
That would be my third place. I think.
Are those three that we're okay with? Do we want
Yeah.
to swap one of those out for anything else?
They sound good. A little variety, and they run most of them, so.
I feel like, yeah, maybe the seashells thing does give, because you have to think about the people designing the floats, like what gives them the most to work with.
Mhm.
Motivation.
But they'll do anything.
Allison?
Hmm?
It looked like you were thinking and about to say something.
Yeah, stars and stripes and sand or shells or seas or stars and, I mean, look, stars and, I'm just trying to think of like how to, decorate.
Yeah,
Stars and stripes and sandy.
Starfish and
shores,
stripes?
Sandy.
Not that we have starfish.
Oh, that's kind of cute, starfish and stripes.
I like
Oh,
that. Starfish and stripes.
cute.
I see like mermaids.
Yeah.
I do think we want to work the 250 years in
Yeah.
some version
Yeah.
or other. Just, again, it seemed a strong theme through the Facebook group.
yeah, I think we're gonna hear that we blew it if we didn't
Yeah.
somehow incorporate that.
Missed out on opportunity.
Well, we can,
I think these are good.
yeah,
Yeah.
all right. We'll go with that. It's up to the kids,
Yeah, right. Yeah. They might even come up with something better.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
is
this
that
is
one of the
good.
options for them to come up with a theme, or no? We
I don't know
just
if we-
say, here are your choices.
The first year we did that, and the kids, they're just, I think the kids that are choosing are too young, like the one that won, the only, was, the kid wrote down rocks, and so we use that as Orleans rocks. So that ever since, we've been like giving them a choice, but the big thing for the kids, I mean, they do build it up and make it a big deal, is that one kid
Yeah.
gets chosen to ride in the parade as the theme
Winner.
theme winner.
I think you said last meeting, Ben, Bodie McBoatface is the
Yeah,
fear.
right.
You're gonna get a lot of crazy ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, certainly kids are creative and come up with a lot of good ideas.
Yeah.
But I think given that history of the responses that we've received,
Yeah.
it was time to give them ideas to choose. But if they're super creative, they could just write in on their own.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And, you know,
Other.
Yeah, other.
Yeah.
Other box.
Right.
yeah, exactly. So, if anyone has any kids, whether they're at OES or not, put them on the task of coming up with something and tell them to tell their OES friends to
Yeah, exactly.
write in.
Well done. Yeah, my son is 6, so I don't know. He would do a quarter face.
So, yeah, if everyone's good with that, we can go with those three and see what they come back with. And so Hillary,
Yeah.
can I get you
Yeah.
the ballot and
That's awesome.
you'll send that? Thank you. And so our next meeting, because this one got pushed back because of school
Right.
vacation, is May 19th.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna be out of town.
So if we
But,
could have
Right.
a vote before that,
Okay.
because I'm starting to
Right.
get
Yeah,
harassed by
totally.
people wondering what the theme is.
Yeah. Yeah,
We're a little behind this year. but,
totally.
That's kind of on me as the new
No,
chair.
it's not, it's fine. It's totally fine.
Next item on the agenda is Grand Marshal. So to bring everyone up to speed, we've talked about a few options. Probably the two leading contenders are Mike Ford, who I did confirm with Kevin Galligan. He has retired as the town council at the end of 2025. He is available as special counsel going forward, but he is retired after 40 years. And then Charles Hollander Essig, I don't know if I'm saying Essig?
Hollander
Yeah.
Essig.
Hollander Essig. 50 years, I believe, he's been with the school. And Kevin was, or Linda, you were not sure if he was retiring, but
I think he always says it.
Yeah.
He's gonna
He is
retire.
not retiring,
Okay.
from what I have heard.
Okay.
But I did do some digging and I did hear that he has been a 4th of July parade grand marshal before.
Yeah.
That's
I mean-
good to know.
I did find that out, but also.
Do we know how long ago?
I guess not that long ago.
Not that long
I
ago.
didn't wanna ask him directly, but somebody who knows him said a few years ago.
oh, interesting. Okay,
So,
well,
He must be extra special.
just wanted
He's
to
beloved.
disclose
Yeah.
that, because we didn't know that
He's a
before.
great guy.
all right, that's a good piece of info. I don't really have a strong leaning, but, and you know, oh, the other piece of info that I got, Linda, I think it was you, but that asked, is there a residency requirement? There's essentially no rules for picking a grand marshal. It's up to the committee, whoever we feel, you know, deserves that honor in that spot, is who we select. So, at least that's what our liaison said. Thoughts?
I mean, it's hard, I know
Yeah.
Chuck well, he was my husband's music teacher, he's been both my kids' music teacher, he's just the best music teacher you would want your kids to work with, and he's, you know, loves his job, doesn't wanna retire because he likes the kids so much, so, I mean, I'm obviously partial to him, but, you know, if he was it already, what town, do we know where it was? Because if it wasn't in our town, maybe it doesn't matter if he was it before, but.
Was it here?
I want to say it was Orleans. And I wonder, I mean, this might be a good question for Jen, because I'm pretty sure that he was
Okay.
her music teacher also.
I feel like it was Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I heard, that it was Orleans a few years ago.
I feel like it was too.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the other candidate?
So Kevin Galligan suggested him. I don't know Mike. He was town council for 40 years and then retired. And he's continuing his private law practice and is available to be special counsel to the town going forward. But it's really
It's really close.
hold on to your seats for those of you on Zoom.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
like
crash through the
doing some
window.
major digging, and it's like shaking the room a little bit here. But yeah, so I don't know him personally. I don't think anybody on the committee does. It's a tough one. You know, one is going to be known by a lot of spectators, even if he
Yeah.
has already been in. One is, you know, obviously, you know, served a crucial role for the town, but maybe people don't know him. Doesn't mean he doesn't deserve a spotlight.
Right.
But, engaging the community, you know, Charles is probably more engaging with the audience for people recognizing him.
I feel like we probably need to know if he was in the last 5 years. I was a big proponent of
Yeah,
Chuck, like the concept of Chuck, just because I do feel like there's more engagement with the kids and kids of all ages. But I feel like he was it in the last 5 years, and this other guy has just retired.
right.
And maybe Chuck isn't retiring, we could do it again, you know, at some
Yeah.
point soon if we need to.
Yeah, I actually, oh, sorry, Christie, I did hear from Jen, it was 2 years ago.
Oh,
That's too soon.
I know,
we should
I
have
had no
remembered
idea, no idea,
What
serious.
has your list of things been on Fiends and Marshall?
yeah, I know.
Is there any openings for anyone else, or are we just
No,
deciding
no,
between these two?
absolutely. I mean, it's open for, yeah.
Yeah, we were just
I
thinking
was
of
thinking
Tom
Tom
Conrad,
Conrad.
you know, he was the
Retired
superintendent,
and
Nauset High School principal,
for many years.
lives in Orleans.
He just retired,
No,
Yeah.
it's been
retired recently.
quite a few years, yeah.
Okay. With the spirit of me not having the list of former grand marshals. I don't know if anyone knows if he has been, but just not wanting to make a decision and then say,
Right.
oh, actually he was 4 years ago. Maybe I'll check with Jen if we have a list. But it's Tom Conrad. And then there's still plenty of time. This isn't like the theme. The theme's more important to get done and out there. But
Out of curiosity, who was last year, like what type of person?
Brendan
Orleans Rec.
Gutman.
Yeah.
yeah, so he was.
Sir Gutman?
Yeah.
Yep. Orleans Rec. What's the role?
It's like events.
He was director last year.
Yeah.
He's not anymore, but he'd been a coach and like, I don't know,
He
instructor.
was Ace's like T-ball coach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my husband had him too.
He had
yeah.
kids and he has adult children, in the district, and he's just kind of a present mentor. He was a really great choice because he got a lot of hype from the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of kids know
Good.
him.
So yeah, maybe, and also, thank you for bringing that suggestion, but, we have new committee members, not everyone knew that we'd be picking a grand marshal, so maybe do some more thinking on it, and,
Yeah.
I can get a little bit more of the background, past grand marshals, and we can try to hammer that out in May. Gives whoever it is plenty of time to tell people about it, or invite family if they
Yeah.
want to, or.
That sounds good.
Next on the agenda, I mentioned this last meeting, some assignment of tasks. I don't have a long list here, but I could use some help with a few things. Bins and decorations. Linda, you have some familiarity with that, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. No,
So
not at
in
all.
our budget, we have 400 for those things.
Yeah, once we decide the theme, then we'll know what we need. I also am thinking, Ben, about reaching out to the Honor Society at NASA and see if we could get some of those kids to help decorate. That was super helpful last year,
Yes.
so I can do that also.
I can take that task if you'd like, because I work at the middle school and my daughter's on the Honor Society, and I'm very
Oh,
friendly
awesome.
with the advisor, so.
How about this? I have a suggestion. Linda, if you run with the bins and decorations, and Bonnie, the Honor Society, and can I tag onto that, just in general, volunteer recruitment?
Yeah, I can help with that too.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Handle that.
So the two of you,
Awesome.
volunteer
I
recruitment.
can help too with that.
Maybe I
Awesome.
can help on
I
I
decorations.
mean-
have a whole softball team I could get
Got
you.
it.
Volunteers,
Great.
it's, certainly many hands make light work. We probably want to strategize, and for those of you new, you won't really have, well, I'm sure you've been to the parade or you've been in the parade, so you see some of the management on day of. It's a little bit of managed chaos. It's like everyone shows up at once, you try to shove them into the right area and then just go. But I don't know if we could have too many volunteers, just in terms of also managing volunteers and having them have something to do.
Yeah.
Mostly in the years past, we've had trouble,
Right.
but I don't want to like overshoot and then have
Yeah.
30 people with nothing to do. But
It's the target then. How
yeah,
many people do you want?
exactly. So I guess, start putting the feelers out for those that are taking that task, and I'll come back, hopefully by next meeting with a target. I'm away Sunday, through the 11th, so it gives me a week to come up with a target, but the main pain points are the entry, coming in off of 28. I spoke to OPD about possibly getting a detail there, just to kind of keep decorum. I mean, people coming in are sometimes kind of salty that we're slowing them down and trying to figure out where they need to be. And having a detail there, I think would help that attitude adjustment.
Yes.
But
Definitely.
having some people with, thick skin, not necessarily teenagers, in that position. And then, I have some volunteers from previous years that I think are coming back this year for, the float check-in. Those are really the only 2 points that I think we need, like, thick skin and people with, some continuity.
Other than the antique cars.
Yeah, yeah. But that, the rest is just sort of like moving people to the right area, directing people that are parking on the field, where to park, where not to park. The school's pretty, or the, they're pretty particular about that. Not wanting to run over like irrigation and that sort of stuff. And then, new signs, is really the only other thing that I could use help with. So we have signs that go on Grand Marshal car, judges, the parade theme winner,
Right,
and then we have signs for like
Select
enter here,
board.
select board.
yeah.
Just refreshing, and I can dig out, or put somebody in touch with Tom DeServo to grab the signs, or I can meet you, at their office, across the street, just to see what we've done in the past, but it's time for a refresh, and we've lost some of those over the years. If anybody would like to take that, that would just be, we have $400 in the budget, and that would be likely just, coming up with a design, and sending that to Staples for an order.
I can do that.
Cool, thank you, Tom.
I was just gonna volunteer you, Tom.
Thank you.
Ben, is that a different $400 or is that
Yes.
just- okay, I didn't know if that came out
Yes.
of the decorations budget.
Yeah, so the budget is mostly bands, just to give you background. I don't know why I don't have it up here, but yeah, we had 400 for each, the signs and decorations, 650, I believe, for miscellaneous if things come up, and then 700, which actually, if we have I have nothing more on tasks, for now. But it brings me to judges, so the only other thing in the budget was 700 for Chatham Valet. It's a golf cart, like a long golf cart. Some of our judges, including my mother, are elderly, and getting in and out of a big truck or a Jeep isn't the easiest thing. So the golf cart has also served as kind of backup transportation for the select board if they get tired of walking or they want to leave their jacket or water. But my thought is, I haven't heard back from Chatham Valet if that's available, but it's in the budget. We approved that we continue with that this year, and maybe add a couple more judges to
Yeah.
kind of mix up the demographic from my mother and two older friends to maybe some younger folks. Certainly, if anyone on the committee wants to join that, obviously, that would be helpful, but no pressure. I know, it's a holiday and you want to spend it with your family, or you want to be in the parade or whatever. But we'll be looking ideally for at least one more judge, if not two. That's all that I had. Anyone else have anything they want to bring forward, or any questions for new members?
I just had a question
Yeah.
about the volunteering.
Yeah.
Thinking about our kids at school, would a good task for like a group of 20 middle schoolers or 15 middle schoolers be to, follow the parade and clean up duty? Like, take that task away, some of it from the town? They could be cleaning up trash along the way, following the parade. It's a specific task, it's probably helpful, and it's something that they can do easily.
It sounds good to me. I think it's a nice,
It must be a problem, right? With a lot of
Yeah.
trash that the town has to pick up.
yeah, there's definitely a lot of, like,
Flat Tootsie Pops.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
stuck to the pavement.
So maybe like
Um,
5-10 minutes after the parade is finished
Sweep.
going, they could do a sweep.
Mhm.
Yeah, they might just need to be at the end of the parade, because I think as soon as the parade concludes,
The
roads
Teresa's
open.
looking to
Yeah.
open the roads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like
Um,
even be on the side to get, bottles and things like that.
Ye-
I'm just thinking it might be helpful
It's
for the
good
town.
community engagement, involvement, and I think, showing some pride and not leaving downtown looking like junk after a celebration. I think it's a good idea.
It looks good on their resumes too for their
Yeah.
National Junior Honor Society.
Yeah.
And I was thinking additionally,
Yeah.
the middle school now has a program called The Crew, which is like school leaders that kind of run activities and they give tours to guests that are interested in coming to the school and, they do the announcements, they're kind of like leaders in the building. So between National Junior Honor Society and the Crew members, I know there's a lot of Orleans kids on the members of the Crew. So that's new, but that would be a good group of
I
kids.
also found it very helpful last year. The Honor Society kids stayed a little bit later to help me because we have decorations that the town owns that we put on people's floats and we decorate them before they get out. And then, we can definitely use help making sure that we get everything back and taking it off the floats because everybody wants to leave as soon as possible.
Yep.
So that was really helpful to have just a handful of kids do that.
Yeah, that's probably how we've lost some of our signs over the years. People just taking off.
Well, I think last year some people did not want to give back the shark flags. Because we definitely didn't get all of those back.
Okay.
It was a good theme though, that was really a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Anything else?
Oh, I was gonna ask about
Yeah.
candy.
Yeah.
What are the, do we provide candy? Do the float people provide candy?
So this is going back probably 4 or 5 years. We felt like there wasn't, some floats were throwing candy, but I think there was I don't know where this directive came from, but it seemed like, whether it was the police department or some other, select board trying to discourage candy throwing. So we felt it was important to still distribute, so we were providing candy and having volunteers hand it out, so they wouldn't have to, throw it from floats. The police doesn't seem to have a problem with it now. The biggest problem they have is Skaky Corners, and especially the left side as you go down Eldridge. They have traffic coming in from the traffic light. So that's their really only concern with throwing candy, is what I've been told. So we kind of dialed it back last year, and my thought is and certainly not my decision, we do have some room in the budget, but is to dial that back, because I think floats are providing tons of candy, there's no shortage. And we don't necessarily have another way to spend it this year, but I'd like to start thinking about that, and we've brought up possibly more vans, but we also don't know. I think this year, taking assessment really of how many bands can we stage in the parking lot, what do we have room for? More sounds great, but if there's no space for them to set up. So that's a long answer for you, but that's kind of the background of what we did, supplying it, and I think
You
maybe.
just encourage the floats and everything else that let them know that they can throw candy.
They do.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they know at this point. I mean, if they're returning floats, they know.
Yeah.
Maybe, Ben, as we're talking about signs, maybe we should have a sign or two on that corner that says no candy zone, and maybe that would discourage people from setting up there if they have kids that want candy?
Yeah, great point. Maybe before we order the signs and order those signs in particular, I'll follow up again with OPD. They were gonna talk to DPW about possibly having signs made.
Oh, okay.
So if that's already done, then we don't need to, but I agree, I think that's a good idea to have something there. And that shows that we're trying to do something about it.
Yeah.
Well, because I also think the corner by the land hoe, right? Because some people have to take a wide turn or something. Weren't we told that too? Throw candy there?
There's no incoming traffic there.
No, yeah, there's no traffic concern. I think it's that and the turn, back onto 28 are really wide areas, so kids do run out. But I haven't, in my discussions with OPD, they haven't brought those up as concerns. There is, if you're throwing and you're on that corner, it's a long throw to make it to the crowd, but yeah. I think minus the traffic, it's not as much of a concern. But good point on the no candy zone. We'll just try to discourage people, but we can't control what the floats do once the parade starts going. It's, sort of, like I said, managed chaos. So next meeting is Tuesday, May 19th, 5 p.m. So that's our new regular time. It's the third, well, it always has been the third Tuesday, but occasionally we have flexibility to move it, with school vacation. But 5 p.m. is the new start time, so May 19th. If nothing else, I'll accept a motion to adjourn from the screen from our voting members. Thank you, Chrissy. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Linda. All in favor?
Hi, guys.
Have a good night.